Learn how to create strategies to scale your business. Tune in. Good morning. Thank you for joining me, Coach Michael, on your Monday morning. Business scaling strategies to take your business from struggle to scale. We all, well, not everybody, but most people want to scale their business with the end goal of hopefully one day transitioning it, selling it, or having that business work for them in whatever way that looks like. But we need to have a strategy, and with that, you need to have systems. Now, what exactly is a systems? First, let's look at the acronym of system. Saving yourself stress, time, energy, and money. Saving yourself stress, time, energy, and money. So anything that's not working, it's costing you stress, time, energy, and money. So we need to create systems. And most importantly, think of a system as an investment. Yes, it will take you time in the beginning to put the system in place and get everyone aligned. But once that takes place, that system will repay you back over and over and over again. So business systems, they're essentially processes, tools, workflows that a company repeats over and over, and it creates the engine to create growth and consistency within the organization. It's imperative to have this. If you have no systems, you're relying on people and potentially errors and misjudgment. A system is clear because it was created, so we do the same thing over and over and over to deliver sustainable growth to the organization. Now, there are several types of and examples of systems that we could put in our business to scale the organization. The first one is operational systems. That's essentially the day-to-day execution of the steps that need to take place day in and day out to achieve the end result of whatever needs to happen that day. And there can be operating systems in many different areas of the organization. The number two area to look at is sales and marketing systems. That could be leads and conversion. How are you testing your leads? How many different sources of where the leads are coming from? How is it being measured? Do you have a system set up that you're finding the sweet spot? And what do I mean by that? What is the one area that the most leads and the highest conversion rate is coming through to generate the most money and the best margins? So having a sales and marketing system, and remember, sales and marketing different. Marketing is getting your brand out there consistently in front of your target market. Also, marketing, if you're using a website or social media, it's not necessarily directly going to your client, your target audience. You have to satisfy Google to satisfy your target audience. If what you're doing with your marketing or website or social media is not hitting all the buttons and satisfying Google, you're not going to get in front of your audience. Now, sales is your people out there shaking hands and making the sales. But there's all sorts of KPIs, key performance indicators, that you'll be able to have as far as systems with sales and marketing. Number three, financial systems. Imperative. In mastery of a business, the foundation of the business, money mastery is one of the four components. Most important, you need to know your numbers inside and out, and you must have systems to do so. Bookkeeping, reading the P&L, going through these numbers every single month so you can make decisions from the bottom up based on your numbers and how it's affecting things on the top. Human resources is a system, an operational system. Anything that has to do with employees. Onboarding. There needs to be a structure and a system for onboarding. If you don't have a structure or system for onboarding, you're just hiring and haphazardly. How many times have I heard, oh, I I just throw them into the fire and see how they work out. No, that is not a system whatsoever. That's a recipe for disaster and also burnout. So make sure you have the human resources, anything that has to do with the employees, as far as tracking and measuring, vacations, onboarding, training. Make sure you have all those systems in place. You have management systems. Management systems are essentially the testing and measuring, the reporting, the following of the KPIs. There's so many numbers in business, and of course that comes after knowing your numbers, that if we're not testing and measuring and reporting these numbers, what do we have to go by? I'm like a kid in a candy store when I work with an organization that have all these systems and sheets and accountability to show me all these numbers that they could pull up in a heartbeat. Press a button, tell me exactly what the conversion rate from all the different areas are, what's in play, how many prospects have been spoken to, how many have been closed, how many days between the conversation, and so on and so forth. I love this stuff because it gives you measurements that you can test and measure and then tweak to get better, shorten the time frame, and so on and so forth. And number 6 is information systems. That's the data collection. Your database where you're collecting all the information, the storage, the communication. So that kind of somewhat leads back to your marketing where you're staying in front of your customers. But any type of data that you can accumulate and record to get better in your organization, deliver more value, consistent recognition to your team, staying in front of your customers, working on margins and productivity is all very valuable. So remember, if you want to go from stuck or to scale, you need to have systems in place. Otherwise, you're relying on people. I'm not saying anything bad about people. We need great people to run organizations, but we need the systems first and the people to run the systems, or sometimes let the systems run the people. And to wrap it up, so why do you need systems? Without systems, businesses are going to rely too heavily on the individuals, which leads to inconsistency and limits growth of the organization. You're not going to be able to scale if you're relying on individuals and not systems. With strong systems, the process becomes more repeatable and scalable. So you can hire somebody, do your onboarding, boom, and get them right on the system. Instead of having somebody train them and showing them what they do and so on and so forth. No, there's a system in place. Mistakes are reduced because we're following protocol. And the business cannot grow with chaos. Systems takes the chaos out of the business. So think of it this way, to keep it simple. Because I believe business owners and entrepreneurs sometimes have a tendency to complicate things. So let's keep it simple. To systemize your organization, to scale it and grow it and take it where you want. Input, process, output. The systems, you gather the information, you create a system to create a process which delivers the output, the outcome, the end result. And with that, you get scalability, productivity, better margins, and that's how you take the chaos out of the business and prepare it to grow to new heights. As always, I want to thank you for joining me, Coach Michael, on your Monday morning. I want to wish you a productive, proper week. Go get them. See you next time.